Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us for our live webinar Wednesday today. Today you get me, Sharice Matthews, your fearless Wesley Chapel leader. Today I'm going to be going over how to search expireds in the MLS for door knocking that you're going to get the highest chance to convert on. Probably the best way to handle this class today is if you do have two devices, having one that you can watch the webinar on and kind of follow along, and another that you can actually be in the MLS. So I'm going to give just a minute here for anyone else who would like to log on or get set up with a second device. Okay. Hey, Naomi, thanks for joining us. Wayne, good morning. All right, so if you guys want to go ahead and make sure you're logged into your computer in the MLS if you're going to be doing this along with me, and we'll get started in just a minute. Can everyone hear and see me okay, just to make sure? And keep me in the loop too, so if anything happens and we get disconnected, you know, me and technology. Okay, thanks, Wayne. And a majority of this here is going to be basically screen share. I'm going to be showing you my MLS live screen so you guys can follow along with me. Hey, Sandy, thanks for joining us. Good morning. All right, so I'm going to put us in screen share. Screen. Share. Okay. I do. Good morning, Cindy. Okay, so just to make sure I have this set up right, just message real quick, Sandy or Wayne or Naomi, if you can see me in the corner, but then also see my screen, or if you just see my screen. I think it's going to do full. Not zero. Okay, all right. Actually, I'm going to put this up on my phone as well so that I can kind of see what you guys are seeing, just to make sure everything's good. So you guys bear with me just a second. I just want to make sure everything goes smoothly this morning. So better to do this now than later. Okay. Okay. What are we showing? Okay, so I just see black on mine. Are you guys seeing anything on your screen? On my phone, it's just showing black. Sorry, guys. Okay, so you can see me. Naomi's not seeing anything. Okay. Okay. Naomi, do you see me now? No, just blank. Okay, that's what mine looks like. Okay, try this again. Oh. I'm trying to log in again. That was my first one. I need to get a shorter email address. I'm trying to log back in and see if that makes a difference. The name is okay, already registered to attend. Okay, well, okay, Naomi, are you still seeing black or do you see me yet? Sorry guys, we'll figure this out in just a minute. Gotta love technology. Wayne, what are you seeing? Do you see me or do you see blank? Oh, I see me now. Okay. Naomi, you might have to get out and then come back in. When you registered, it sent you a link to the email. So go into your email and it'll say you can access the webinar through this link. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to do a screen share. Try to make this simple. Okay. All right. All right. So good morning again. Let's try this again. Take two. Thank you guys so much for your patience with us. This is a learning curve for everyone. But we want to make these classes virtual for you so that you can access them anytime, anywhere, and you can also go back and watch the replays as well. But we're trying to make things more accessible for you so you can still continue to learn and grow your business as well. So all right, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a straight screen share, and then we're going to go from there. And I'm going to keep this open on my phone so I can try to keep up on your comments over here and questions. So if you guys do have questions, please type them in. I'm going to try to monitor them as we go along. I'm going to try to go at a slower pace for you guys, but remember too, if you do get lost, that there is the replay that you can go back to. And again, I do suggest doing this on two devices if you're able to maybe have two computers, one watching the webinar and the other one where you can actually do it in the MLS with me. So, all right, so let's get started, guys. All right, share my screen. Share my screen. Okay. All right, so Wayne, if you can type in and tell me if you can see my MLS screen. Oh, Let's try to see. Your screen share is share your screen. Okay, but why? No. Okay, let me hit stop share. And let's try this again. Screen share. Your entire screen. Yes. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, let me do this. And then, oh, okay. Yay, we're working. All right. I'm excited. Okay. All right, you guys. So, what we're going to do today is we are going to search expired listings, and I'm going to show you my methods for, it is a few steps, but it's going to save you a whole lot of time when you're out there in the field and when you're driving around, because we're going to do this because we're going to narrow down focused expireds, the ones that you're going to have the highest conversion and highest opportunity that when you knock on the door, it's going to be the right person. We're going to show you how to eliminate vacant homes, ones that have tenants in them. Now, are these other opportunities you can take advantage of? Yes, absolutely. But you would do it in a different method. So there would be a different method for specifically searching, let's say, vacant homes, where you can click on the tax ID number, open up a real list, and you can go another avenue where you're going to their actual personal residence. So you would be looking up their mailing address versus the property address. Now, are there a lot of people out there doing that? No, not at all. So this would be another great opportunity for you to have an avenue where you have a little bit less competition. And same thing with the, the ones that are tenants. If you were looking to try to target properties where you want to convert tenants possibly into buyers, then you would do a specific search for that. But this one today is going to focus on knocking on the right doors that are going to give you the highest conversion, where you're going to have the individual owner who lives there and potentially going to be there to answer the door, and you can convert them. All right, so here from the MLS, we're going to go ahead and start on our homepage. I want you to hover over search, residential, quick. Oh, Naomi, you're good now. And this is how I do all of my searches. All right, so obviously we don't want active. We're going to select expired. And also I go after withdrawn listings as well. Withdrawns are basically just like an expired. Unfortunately, they got frustrated with their agent prior to the actual contract date, and they basically fired them, and the property has now been withdrawn. So there are two different types of withdrawns here. There's conditional and unconditional. So you guys understand the difference. I target the unconditional ones. When you have a conditional withdrawal, that basically means that the owner is still on the hook to pay that agent a commission for the time period that they originally agreed to list the property. So if you didn't want to go after conditional withdrawals, that's okay as well, but you just need to have that conversation with the seller to educate them so they don't end up to pay two to three different agents a commission. All right, so I'm going to focus on unconditional withdrawals and expireds. Now here this does default automatically to 180 days back. Now that's a good span of time. When I'm doing this, I want to, for me personally, I like to focus in on a smaller area so that my properties are a lot closer together. And I actually enjoy, I kind of prefer personally, I mean, you have to go after the new, fresh expires, because I think the statistics say that 80% of them will list right away, and typically with the first person that they connect with. I also, though, I like the older expireds. I'm not scared of those. I actually have a higher conversion rate personally on older expireds. Those older expireds are basically that 20% who truly, truly needed a break. They're the ones that when you knock on the door, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I need a break. I need a break, I need a break. I'm not going to relist right now. Try me again later on, maybe. So now this is the ones that they've had that break. They've had that time to kind of, process everything that was going on and reevaluate. And now here I am knocking on the door with almost basically no competition, because nobody really goes after these older expireds. So now I'm knocking on the door without a lot of active competition, and I'm reigniting their motivation. There's our three primary questions that we need to ask every expired, which is, If the home did sell, where were you planning on moving to? Right? We need to dig out their motivation. Why is that important to you? Like, why are you moving there? You have friends, family, job relocation, just a place you always wanted to live? And then third is, how soon were you planning on being there? These are all three very, very important questions for you to gauge that client. And also, this is going to be information for you that as you go into a listing appointment with them, when they start to give you objections, that you can pull them back around and remind them of their motivation. So for me personally, again, I don't mind the older ones. I find them a lot easier to convert, in my opinion. They've had that chance to have a break. And now you're reigniting their motivation and getting them back on track with where they originally wanted to be. Because you guys, expired listings, these are people that they want to sell their home. You know, they had a goal. I mean, nobody just puts their home on the market, keeps it clean, and shows it for 6 months for no reason. So we just need to reignite them with that motivation, put on our therapist hat, let them vent about their previous experience, and then just kind of get them back on track, help them to overcome that, and help them understand that you're the person that's now going to help them achieve that goal. So for me personally, I like to do a smaller area and go further back in time. However, if you wanted to focus on mainly new listings and you want to have a good group of them to go out for an entire day and door knock, which I suggest, then you'll want to go a little bit further out in an area in a shorter amount of time. So just for playing around with this example, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back just 90 days for this example. And again, you can always go back and just kind of tweak this between the area and the days on market. Down here, our next category is going to be special sale provisions. When I'm going for an expired listing, I don't want bank owns, I don't want auction properties. Me personally, I do not want to go after short sales. If you do, you can include that in there if hopefully the people are still there in the property. But I'm basically just going to select none. As you guys know, none means there's nothing special about it. It's just one person trying to sell their home to another person. If you wanted to specifically target your business towards single family homes or whatever category there, you can select this. I typically just kind of keep this open. Let's see what's next. Okay. All right. And then what I'll do as far as an area over here under city, or so let's say you want to focus on, let's say you want to do Newport Richey. Richey. Hudson, and let's say Port Richey. Okay. And you can do this for whatever areas you want to focus on. You can also do zip code. You can also just break it down to county. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in county. I'm just going to do Pasco County. And then I'll show you how to use the map as well. Okay. So for this example, I went and just put in Pasco County. Also, if you have a minimum price point that you're willing to work, maybe some of us don't want to work homes under 200,000. Maybe you don't want to work homes under 150,000. 150 in a lot of markets is very hard to come by, especially ours over in East Pasco, Wesley Chapel. But if you do come across a listing for 150,000 and the seller's reasonable and pricing it right, that's one that's going to sell immediately, basically that weekend, probably multiple offers. So I'm going to go ahead and say just 150 plus over here in my price point. Everyone kind of with me so far? You guys can type in, just let me know. All right, so we put in withdrawn unconditional, expired. We changed the days 0 to 90. Okay, excellent. Under special sale provisions, we put none. I'm just going to search more of a broader area here in Pasco County, and I put in the price point of 150 plus. Now, there are two additional fields that if you guys do not already have this, I want you to add. So here, underneath where it says your results and your total property matches, you see we have 415. That's a lot. We're definitely going to narrow that down a lot. But here under where it says additional fields, yours might just say add, or if you already have some here, it will say add or remove. Go ahead and click on that button. And now this window here should show up. What I find easiest, no matter what you're searching for, is just kind of start to type it in instead of going through all of this. So what I want you to start to type in is a realtor. And there's two categories I want you to add. I want you to add confidential realtor information. Mine is already here, but I'm actually going to just move mine up. Ignore what I'm doing right now. I'm just moving mine to the top so it's a little easier to find later on. Okay, so confidential realtor information. And then also I want you to put realtor information. Okay. I'm just going to take mine here and move it up to the top so it's a little easier. Realtor information. Like I said, ignore what I'm doing. I'm just kind of resigning so it goes to the top easier. Okay, so once you've added those two fields, you should see them over here. There's mine, realtor information, and then go all the way up to the top. I have a lot of added fields. Sorry, guys, I'm doing this a long time. Oh, that one was really Okay, so you should have realtor information, confidential realtor information. Once those are over here, just go ahead and click on the back button. It's going to now take us back to our search. Then whenever you add fields, you just go ahead and scroll all the way down to the bottom of your screen. And this is where you're going to see all of your additional fields. Under realtor information, what I want you to locate is where it says agent owner, and then select the not button underneath of it. So select agent owner and not underneath of it. Now you see here, right here, the one underneath of that, it does say agent related to owner. I keep that open on purpose. I'm not scared of those ones. Those are actually a great opportunity for you to step in a nice, polite way, just say, hey, how did that work out for you? Sometimes it is best to have a third party outside person, to be subjective with you during these times. Be honest with you and tell you the truth, regarding price and things like that and market conditions, and, be a little bit more objective with you. Also, it's a good idea just for saving relationships. Who knows what kind of a strain that, the property expiring might have caused on that relationship. So different things like that, but that's all different avenues you guys can look up another day. So I just basically take out agent owner and select not. Then under here, under realtor, confidential realtor information, on this one, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to select tenant approval. And then if you have a regular computer, like a PC, HP, you're going to hold your control button and also select vacant. If you're on a Mac, you would use your, I think it's your Alt button or your command button. Okay, so I'm going to select tenant approval and vacant, and then I'm going to select not. Now, not all properties that are vacant are actually listed as vacant for, national security purposes, I would imagine. So we're going to do another step after this. Okay, so I still have 338 properties. That is a lot. My goal in this first step here is to narrow it down to around 30. 30 is a good number. And then from 30, we're going to narrow it down even more from there because we want a golden ticket list that's going to be the hottest properties that we can knock on with the highest conversion. All right, so I did a broad area of Pasco County and I did 90 days. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to select my map option. So we have criteria, map, and results at the top. I'm going to go ahead and select my map option, and I'm going to see where all of these are. Now, Pasco County obviously is huge. So just kind of based on the area that you want to focus on, look for the most consolidated amount of properties that you see in that area. So you're going to get the most amount of properties and the shortest amount of drive time. I do see a good patch kind of right over here, right? So I got to think about how much time do I have today. Generally, I like to do this as often as possible, but definitely on Saturdays. Saturdays, you guys will hear me say it 1,000 times, is the best day for prospecting. This is when I used to do real estate full time. My Saturdays were focused specifically on doing expireds, door knocking, and then of course we'd also throw in any for sale by owners that we saw along the way. And also, I am a fan of the yard sale or estate sale, particular certain neighborhoods, because those people that are out there having a yard sale are what? They're thinking of selling their home. The first step is to declutter. So we definitely make the most of our time when we're out door knocking. So let's just say I'm going to go ahead and focus kind of on this general area here. So up at the top, we have our different options that we select. We can do a circle, square, a polygon. But I'm going to go with the square, and I'm going to kind of focus it a little bit more kind of right here, let's say. I'm going to go along this 54 corridor. Now, up here in the top corner, it tells me how many properties are in that selection. I have 28. So that's right about where I want to be. I want to be right around 30, like low 30s, high 20s if possible. Now, once you make your square here, if you didn't quite catch enough properties, you can always just simply grab the line as your finger is on it, and you can pull that over in whichever direction you prefer to go. Okay. All right. So here I bump this down to 29. All right. So I got right around my 30 properties. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to criteria. Oh, I'm sorry. From here, I'm going to go to results. Now, what I want to do at this point is I want to go ahead and I want to save this as a template. I want to save this as a search so I can go back into it anytime. I basically have all my settings done, but each time you go into this, you can still change it. So let's say I hit everything in that little corridor, and now I want to hit the corridor just south of that or west of that or east of that or whatever that is. I can go ahead and just go into my map option, and I just select a different square of where I want to work. Or if let's say I want to focus just on all the new ones that have come out the most recently in the whole Wesley Chapel, Tampa area, then I can just adjust my days on market, adjust my map location, and then everything else is set from there. So you can constantly go in and change it, but at least you'll have the basic template saved. So from this screen here, what we're going to do is we're going to come down to where your action buttons are. Down here we have action, refine, save, and charts. I'm going to go ahead and click on save. Then I have 3 new options down here below. What I want to do is I want to save this as a new saved search. Up here, I'm going to go ahead and name it. I'm going to call it expired template. And you can set up multiple templates if you want. Or there's multiple, expired template WC for Wesley Chapel. You can again just save this as a expired template and go through and change it each time. Totally up to you. I don't assign it to any contacts. This is just for me, my personal stuff. And I go ahead and hit save. Okay. Oh, Naomi, you're a little lost with the square. Okay, I'll go back real quick. All right, so from my criteria screen here, remember I had searched all of Pasco County, and I did 90 days back, which had originally given me 400 and something properties, I believe, 300 something properties. So to narrow that down, I just clicked on the map option at the top here. And of course, it showed me all of everything that was all over here. But I wanted to focus on this area here, where I had a good cluster of them. So I went up here to the top, underneath where it says criteria, you have your circle, your radius, you have your rectangle, and you have your polygon. And all I did was I just simply I clicked on square, and I made me a box around a congested area where they had a lot of listings. And then up here at the top, I noted how many listings total. I wanted to be around 30. Okay. All right. So now we've got 30 listings. We did save our template, and I'll show you at the end how to go back and find that. Oh, it looks like my screen just went black for some reason. Okay, good, Naomi. Let me know if you guys see my MLS screen, my grid view, single line grid view, or if you guys see a black screen. Naomi, Wayne, if one of you guys could type in and just let me know what you see right now. Okay, Wayne sees my MLS screen. I'm on my phone trying to keep up with this, and my phone shows a black screen. Naomi, Cindy, do you guys see my MLS screen? MLS, yes, yes, yes. Okay, all right, for some reason it's just my phone. Okay, no worries. All right, if anything does happen like this for you guys, just please message in and let me know right away. Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so now from this part, we're going to do step 2. Step 2 and step 3 are going to be basically a process of elimination. So here we have 29 properties. I'm going to make a suggestion to you. A lot of people don't know you can do this, but right underneath where your map button is, it'll say display single agent line, and here will be, for me, it shows the number 10. Some of you might be defaulted to 25. If you're supposed to say 10, just click on that drop down, and I'm 50, 29 properties. Because I want to see them on the screen. Because here's what happens. Sometimes when you go to select all, it's only going to select the ones that are visibly on your screen, not on the additional pages, if you've ever had bumped into that before. So I selected 50 per page because I have 29, which I can tell right over here on the left side of the screen. So I have 29 properties. So I went here and I selected to show at least 50 of those at a time. So I have everything on one screen here. Okay, now over here on the left-hand side, underneath where it says previous and next, there is a little box that you can check, which will be your select all option. Okay, so I want to select all of these properties. Next, what I want to do is I'm going to come down here towards the bottom to where my action buttons are. We're currently on save because that's what we did last, but now I'm going to select the button that says action. Okay, and then underneath it there, you should see where it says criteria, email, print, and all those buttons. I want you to select the option print. Now, no, we're not actually going to print, but I'm going to show a cool trick. All right, so when you get to your print screen, a lot of times this is just going to show you what reports you generally use the most often. I want you to go ahead and select the button at the bottom, I'm sorry, at the end of that list that says more, click. That's going to open up all of your different reports that you can use. There's one specific report I want you to select. It's a little bit more than halfway down where it specifically says print, customer, all photo flyer. It says print, customer, all photo flyer. Find this one and select it. Now, next, what we're going to do is we're going to select preview. Okay, we're not going to print this. We're just going to hit preview. What this is going to do is this is going to open all the photos of all the listings in one scroll. Okay, the goal of what we're doing here is we want to review through the properties and we want to find the ones that are very clearly vacant. Okay, because these are not ones that we want to go to. It's not going to be effective for our time to go door knock on those because it's a vacant property that was not specifically listed as vacant in the criteria. Now, I do make a few exceptions. So if this is a property that I really, really would love to list, or in my farm area or a neighborhood that I really want to get into, then yes, absolutely, I will go to it if it's conveniently in my travel path. I will go there. I'll leave a card at the door with a little sticky note attached to it that says, "Sorry, I missed you. Please call me." Okay, I don't leave a whole bunch of detailed information. I don't leave pre-listing packages. Short and sweet, leave a little mystery, give me them curious as to why to call you. Oh, maybe they have a buyer for my house. Let me call them. And the hope is that, hopefully they're going to go back to the property to check on it and they'll come across it. Now, again, if this is one of the properties that I know are vacant that I really want to pursue, I will also click on the tax ID number. I will go into Real List and I'm going to look for their actual mailing address, their true property address where they're living. And I would actually go to that one as well, or send them a letter, different things like that you can do. Okay, so everyone should have selected print, customer, all photo flyer. Then we're going to select preview. Now this is going to open another window. And here we go. Here's a great example. The very first property that I'm looking at here is clearly a vacant property. Now, some of them will be a little hard to tell because they're aged. The easiest way to tell, though, is generally if they ever have a picture of a laundry room, you can see are there actually active bottles of soap, things like that. bathroom countertops, nightstands, little things like that are kind of giveaways. So right off the bat, this first property I see here is vacant. So I just kind of take a note at the top of the photos. This is the one on Sand Key Lane for $199. Now I'm going to click on the tab previous to that where it says matrix. So this tab that's still spinning, these are my photos. The one previous to this here is my actual matrix search. Now it's going to take me back to here, which is where I left off when I hit preview. I'm going to select back to results. And you guys, the cool thing with this too is that the photos are actually in order that they're listed here. So clearly the first property we saw was Sand Key, listed at around $199. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unselect this one. Okay, because this is not one that we want to specifically go to. Focus being search day. All right, so I unselected this property. Now I'm going to go back to the tab at the top right next to it. This is my list of photos. So I'm going to continue to go through this list. Here's one. This is one that's kind of hard to tell if it's staged or not. Let's get through all these. I would say this one is most likely staged. Oh, no, there are clothes in the closet. Okay. All right. So, oh, and laundry soap. I just said that. Okay, so this one looks good. I'm going to try to scroll through these quickly without making you guys busy. This one very clearly looks like it's lived in. Oh, another option you can do too, sorry, I just thought of this, is in our search criteria when we're setting this up, there is that button on the left-hand side in the top section where it says new construction. You can click no on that one too, because I do find that occasionally, if somebody lives here, I do find that occasionally a new construction home will pop up here, especially in our Wesley Chapel area. This one is almost so pretty. Staged. Nope. Oh wow, look at that closet. That's nice. Okay, sorry. All right, so we're going to go through this list and we're going to look for any and all vacant properties. For this example, though, just to speed this up for time's sake, is I'm going to go back here to my list and I'm just going to unselect a handful of them and just say that, okay, these ones here were vacant, right? I'm just going to randomly select some. All right. So right now I'm down to about 22. That's about, you should be down to 25 or 22 at least. If you started off with 30. So you see this is going to keep doing a process of elimination. But trust me, you guys, it's better to take a minute, an extra minute to do this now through this search the way that I'm teaching you versus wasting your time, energy, gas, and frustration and mental state of staying happy and focused while you're out there driving around. So, all right. So now we've quote unquote went through the process of the photos. We went through all the photos. We've eliminated the properties that appear to be vacant. On this individual tab here that's open with the photos, I'm just going to go ahead and close that so I don't get confused. Back here, again, I've eliminated, I've unselected a number of properties that were vacant. So now I like to keep my list nice and clean, so it's easy to decipher. So the next step that I'm going to do is down here under our Actions tab. Next to Actions, there's a button that says Refine. Okay. Now, under Refine, I have an option to just show the selected properties or to discard the selected properties. I want to show the selected properties because the ones that are checked are the ones that I want to keep. Okay. After action, what do I do? Not sure where you're at, Naomi. Okay, so we've narrowed down the vacant properties. I selected Refine, next to Action. I'm going to click on Show Selected. And now this is going to narrow me down to just the properties that I still have selected. Okay. All right, now, next step from here is, this is the one that is a little time consuming. This is where we need to double check these properties because this is the most important part, to make sure they have not been relisted. You do not want to get a nasty notice from the DVPR that somebody has made a complaint against you because you were doing what's called sign crossing and soliciting to somebody who has an active listed property. Actually, this was a huge issue that I've been seeing on a lot of the realtor groups where agents are getting on and they're complaining and they are filing complaints with the DDPR that agents are doing this. I know there's a lot of new agents out there, but you guys, that this is no excuse. This is the same rules and regulations for all of us to play the game fair. If you're going to go out there and you're going to go door knocking and you're going to try to talk to these expired listings, you need to do your due diligence and you need to verify in the MLS that they have not been relisted. If you go and you target a relisted property, you can get in trouble for that very clearly. So super important, don't get fined, don't get some blemishes on your good reputation as a realtor. All right, so next step is we're going to double check to make sure that these properties are truly expired and they have not been relisted or are currently under contract. Now for this step, what we're going to do is we're actually going to open another MLS window, but there's a strategic way to do it. Okay, so what we do is the home button at the top next to your search. I'm just going to hover over this. Okay, my mouse is going to be on top of it, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to select open in a new tab. And what it did is it opened another MLS window right here next to my original one. So now I do have two active MLS windows open. For me personally, what I like to do is I like to kind of give a little bit of separation between these two so I don't get them confused. So I'm actually going to grab this one. I'm going to hold the tab and I'm just going to kind of move it over here so I have in between the two. So going back here where my originals, I am now down to 2 properties. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my speed bar, which is this white bar up here, in my other MLS window to confirm the addresses. Now, when you use your speed bar, do not use court, drive, street, none of that. It's just down and dirty, sweet and simple, just the number and the street name, that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the number and the name. You can right click copy, or personally to be a lot faster at this, Control C, hold Control, hit C if you are a user. I'm going to come here, you can hit Control V and that will paste, or you can right click paste and then just hit enter or the little magnifying glass. Okay, this one has had a lot of activity on it. Okay, so we see here that it's been withdrawn a number of times. It's been sold and it's been expired. Now, of course, this is its MLS history. Okay, so this is going to be over many years. Now I'm going to show you one advanced step here if you would like to use this or not. I don't want to confuse anyone too much. But over in like the area here that I can see, let's just say over the address, I'm going to hover my mouse until I see the little plus sign. I'm going to click and I'm going to hit insert column. Down in the search, I'm going to start to type the word expired, EXPI, and it pops expiration date. Okay, I hit apply. And what I'm going to do is it's created this here for the expiration date. So I can see the ones that have expired, what was the most recent. Then also I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to make sure I have my plus sign over the address, gray area here. I'm going to click, I'm going to hit insert column. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in withdraw. Okay, I'm going to select withdrawal date. Hit apply. So now very quickly right in front of me, I can see, okay, so here's the withdrawn dates, here's the expired dates. Now some of these have sold, so it is a good idea that, keeping in mind how far back you did your search to see if something had recently sold in that time period. Because sometimes properties will expire while they're under contract, and then they're relisted and then closed out when they're sold. So over here towards the end, if I scroll my screen over here to the right, there's an option here that says close date. Me personally, I like to get my cursor right here in that gray box, so it has a plus sign. I'm going to click and hold it, and I'm going to drag it over to here right next to my withdrawn date, expired date, and close date. This way I can see everything that's going on right here. Okay, now the main thing that I'm focused on and looking at is right here under status, right? Your status. I'm looking for it to see if it says ACT, which means it's active, it has been relisted, then it's a no-go. If it says PNC, meaning that it has been relisted under contract now, okay, that's a no-go. If it says TOM, and some of you are not too familiar with that new term, TOM means temporarily off market. That means that it's still an active listing. It's just that it's not being shown right now. You know, it could be something as simple as they have family in town, they don't show it, they just had a baby, maybe they're doing some remodeling, maybe they're out of town and don't want anyone there. Whatever the situation, that is an active listing, so that one is a no-go. Now this one clearly does not say any of those things that we're looking for. I'm going to confirm over here on close date that one of these have recently closed. That would have been within that time period. So this one is a go. This is a good one for us to go door knock, talk to, and most likely we'll have the individual owner there that we can speak to. So now I'm going to go back over to my first matrix tab that has my search. And I'm going to keep this one selected because that's a good one. The next one here, I'm going to go do the same thing. I'm going to copy the address. I can right click copy or do Control C. Come back over here to my other list. I'm going to highlight, hit delete, Control V, paste the new address, hit enter, or you can hit the little magnifying glass. And this one here we clearly see is active, ACT. That means it's relisted. So this one here is a no-go. So now I'm going to go back to my original list and I'm going to unselect that one because that is not a good one. Okay. Now, to speed this up, I'm just going to go through and unselect a handful of these, and we're going to say that these ones here were all relisted, pending, under contract, or they do not work. Okay. All right, so now we have narrowed down to a total of 16 properties. Now, again, I like this to be a nice, clean list. So I'm still under my Refine button down here at the bottom. And I'm going to select again, Show Selected. The ones that are selected are the good ones. And this is now our golden ticket. These are buyers that should very clearly have the original, not the original owner, but the owner still in the property, who's there. It's not a tenant, it's not a vacant, and it has not been relisted. So these are the ones that we're going to go to our focused door knocking list that we should have the highest rate of conversion on. Now, the next step here, I'm going to show you a cool trick. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. There is now an option in here to put everything in a driving order. Okay, so last thing we did was we were under Refine and we narrowed this down. So now at the bottom here under your Actions tab, we're going to select Actions. And there's this cool button right here. You'll see Criteria, Email, Print, CMA, and then Directions. This is an awesome button. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to take you back one step first. Okay, that's actually the next step. Okay, so now what we want to do is, now that we've narrowed down, we have our golden ticket list, we want to go ahead and print these listings so that we have the addresses in front of us and we can go door knocking. Now, I do not suggest that you print the entire list and the history and whatever else you can find to print, the photos. Don't do all of that. Keep it simple. So what we're going to do from here, so we have our primary properties here, 16 of them selected. What I'm going to actually do now is I'm going to select print. And then I'm going to select more so I see all my reports. And there's a specific report I'd like for you guys to use that's going to be the simplest. And this is just a little bit under the halfway mark. Oh, not that one. Hold on. Oh, where is it? The stupid MLS keeps changing everything. There was one that said broker 5 up, not customer 5 up. Where is the broker 5 up? Gotta love change. Broker 3. No, broker 5. Hold on. I'm going to just really fast. Let me see what this looks like. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so I guess we're going to do broker 3 up. They took out the broker 5 up. Okay, so down near the bottom, you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it says broker 3 up. I don't have this up here. No, okay, sorry, the MLS keeps changing. Okay, broker 3 up. This is a PDF only report, so we just click print to PDF. Each computer is a little different. Sometimes yours will automatically open up in a tab at the top. Some of you will have a little download type option over here in the corner, or for some of you, it will do the download option down in the bottom corner. So wherever your download feature goes to, whether it's up in the corner or down in the corner, go ahead and select that. You will see this here. And okay, and this is just the basics of what you need. You need the address. You need to know the permit. Here's where it says if it's conditional or unconditional, the price, bedrooms, bathrooms. Sorry, guys, this is a different report than they took out my other favorite report. Okay, and it used to say days on market. And then also to you guys at the top here, it does say who the last agent is. So if I know very clearly from searching in the MLS that the property's expired, and I go to knock on the door and I'm like, oh shoot, there's a sign in the yard. You guys look at here. If the last property listed, that's okay. Go knock on the door. This means that that was probably the agent who did not with the owner. Just try to clean the door and inform them that their home is expired and they have no talking about. And a great rebuttal for that is always this. That's funny, Mr. Seller, that you're aware that, you know, your property had expired and it's no longer exposed to, you know, the virus out there, because it sounds to me like your agent didn't have very good communication with you. You know, the MLS had actually notified them probably 2 ago that your home expired. And, you know, unfortunately, I hear that a lot more often than what you think, that they aren't having very good communication with their sellers. And that's something that we pride ourselves in, is good communication. Communication is key. Wouldn't you agree? And then it's a good little, you know, prelude into what you're doing. So yeah, so if you go to the house, you see a sign, you see a lockbox, don't be timid with that. Okay, do not be timid. Especially if you see it's the same sign, same person, that's fine. They just haven't came and gotten their stuff down yet. So still go and knock on that door. So this has the basic information that you need. Very rarely, but on occasion, I'll have a seller at the door saying, no, 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 you don't know what you're talking about. And this way I do have my sheet and I can just pull out and just show them the status very clearly here that, yes, I'm sorry, your home is expired or withdrawn. Typically, if it's withdrawn, they are going to know that. But if it's expired, oh, yeah, see, there's a new construction. We should have taken that one out. So yeah, so you're going to go ahead and print this. Again, you know, you just need, it's 3 per page, really simple, easy on the printer, and it has exactly the information you need, which essentially is the address. Okay, little details about the property, just so you are a little familiar with it when you get to the door. So I'm going to go ahead and print this report. After I printed this report, I'm going to go back to my results. All right, property. And now I'm going to go ahead and select on directions. Okay. This is a really cool button. Puts all these in a, most of the time, a logical travel order for you. Okay. Now, obviously, depending on where you're coming from, if you're coming more from over here at the end of your list, you can, you can go ahead and just, you know, obviously backwards when you shuffle these and put these in order. At the end of the day, when you are going out, if you have a full day, like you have a whole Saturday that you're going to be out there prospecting, I would say 13 or more should be really good for you. This is 16. I think this is a good day out. I would rather have more than what I can do than less than what I can do, especially if you get out there and you're feeling it, everything's lining up right, you're having a great day, people are responding to you, you want to ride that high and that confidence, you know, as long as you can, especially if you get out there and you're getting appointments, you're booking appointments to come back and do listing presentations. You want to don't stop there, you guys, please. When you guys get out there and you're talking to these people and they say, yes, come talk to me about selling my house. Yes, we need to get our house listed. Yes, I'd love for you to do this. Don't stop after that. You guys, when you're in that zone, ride that zone. I mean, I would be out until literally dark on those days because I know that it's just one of those days where basically you can't mess anything up. So I'd much rather have more than less. If you're going out for a full day, I would say at least around 13 or so should give you a good day based on how far apart these are that you're driving. And then also too, if there's a few in here that seem a little out of order, or maybe one that's like way over here, and you're like, man, that one doesn't make sense. But like, 10 minutes out there for this one, you can remove a property. So this one here clearly is a new construction. I can take that one out. Now, any changes that you make here, also you can reshuffle them. So if you're like, okay, actually, I want to go hit this one first, right? I can grab it, I can move it, it will reshuffle it here. If you reshuffle anything here, make sure to come right down here on this little highlighted directions button and click that, and then that will update this. Oops. As well as if you scroll down, this gives you really cool turn-by-turn directions. So it'll tell you how many minutes in between each property. Now, of course, we're just out there door knocking, so time in between properties doesn't matter. However, this is another really cool trick that I'll share with you guys, that when you are scheduling showings for a buyer, right, we would make a list, all 6, 7 properties, however many there are, put all the MLS numbers together, put them in a search, and then we can select them all and hit this directions button. So when I'm scheduling for showings, I might figure, okay, on average, 15 minutes at each house, roughly, give or take. And then in between each showing, I know it's going to be from this house, it'll be 8 minutes drive time to the next house. So 15 minutes plus 8 minutes should be about the time I arrive at that second house. And then you can do that continuing on. Usually when I am showing properties and I'm showing more than like 2 or 3, as the list progresses and I get around property number 4 or 5, I'm going to go from like, let's say a 1 hour window to maybe a 1.5 hour time window. And then after property 6 or 7, probably going to do that in a 2 hour time window, just because you never really know how long they're going to be at each property. They could be there for 5 minutes, they could pull in the driveway and back out, and sometimes they find that right home and they're sitting in there for an hour. So just a little extra tidbit there for you guys when you're scheduling showings. This option really comes in handy with knowing the travel time between each property for scheduling. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I have my printed golden ticket list of all those properties, my broker 3-up report, and then I'm going to go through there and I'm going to number them. Okay, I'm going to find Cobblestone Street and I'm going to put a 1 next to it. I'm going to find Cedar Waxing Drive, I'm going to put a 2 next to it, right? Then I'm going to put them in my notebook. I'm going to grab a stack of cards, I'm going to get my butt in the car, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to start converting. All right. So this is a shortened version of Sharice's method of searching expireds for door knocking at the highest conversion that you can have. All right. So anybody have any questions for me aside from Naomi being a little lost? Off my screen share. All right, great. All right, so you guys got it. Hopefully it went slow enough for you. Try to break it down real simple and easy. And again, you guys, you have that template saved. Oh, let me go back and show you that really quick, how to get back to that so that you can alter it and change it as you need when you're doing that each day. All right, so let me get back to screen share. Sorry, hopefully I don't lose you guys again. Okay, screen share. Okay, let me get back to Matrix. Okay. All right, so hopefully you guys see my matrix screen kind of where I left off underneath the directions. Naomi, for you, this will be recorded, so you can go back into the replay and go through it again with the video using 2 different devices would probably be the easiest method. Okay, all right, so to get back to finding that search, we're going to go up to the top of our screen here where we see home, search, stats, and my matrix. So remember, my matrix is mine, that's my stuff. I'm going to go under saved searches. Okay, I have a lot in here. If you do have a lot like me, you can always click on my last run, and that usually will put it in order for you. So here I see EXP template WC. All right, I'm going to click on that. And don't ask me why. I'm going to tell you a trick. When you're in here, even if you're using one of your customers' auto emails and you want to go in and you want to make changes, you want to look at what they're doing, whatever you do, the easiest thing in the world for making this simple and not messing you up too much is going to be to click on the results button here. Don't ask me why, it's just the easiest thing to do. So click on the name of the search, your options will pop up below it, click on the results button, and now that's going to take us here to our original list. Then from here, we have our 3 buttons at the top. You guys always try to remember when you're in MLS not to use your back button because that can really throw you off and mess up what you're doing. But you need to toggle between these 3 buttons, either your results, your map, or your criteria. So now let's say this is another day and I want to go in and I want to focus on just the newest listings. I want to see the ones that have expired over the weekend for the last 3 days. I'm just going to go in, I'm going to change that from 0 to 3 days. And actually under here, it says I have 0 matches. Okay, because I did a very small area. So what I will do then, because now I need to open my area because I have such a smaller amount of days, I need to do a larger area. So I'm going to go back to my map. Remember, I just have this small selected area. I'm going to hover over my red dot. I'm going to say delete shape. I'm going to zoom back. And in Pasco County, these are my newest expireds for 3 days. So you guys, with our low inventory market, there's not a whole lot of expireds out there. As you can see, this is all of Pasco County in that criteria that I entered is 14. And that's a pretty good little driving distance. So this is why you guys don't be scared of going after these older ones. I'm telling you, these are the ones where these are the people that truly needed a break. Now they've had it. They need you to show up with a bio. Therapist has sense about their own experience, and a great rebuttal for that, guys, and you can use for just about everything is, you know, Mr. Seller, I'm so sorry you had that experience. Believe it or not, I hear that way more often than I think. It's like every tree. It's at 80, there's 20% of it there doing none of the business. So it's a good thing you met me today. And I don't say that in a cocky way. I say that in a confident way. I know that I'm confident that I do a fabulous job for them. And you guys, again, it's just letting them, you know, talk about their experience, helping them to overcome that, letting them vent, and then, of course, helping them to overcome those objections. Some great questions to ask them, too, you guys, especially for the expired listing is, wow, Mr. Seller, you know, it seems like you have a home. Why do you feel it didn't sell? Right? You guys, in this business, in any business dealing with sales, people tell you how they want to be sold. You just have to ask the right questions. Real estate is nothing more than a conversation. Okay, so we ask the questions. Good realtors ask the questions, and most importantly, they shut up and listen to the answer. Mr. Seller, why do you feel the home didn't sell? How did you happen to pick your last realtor? Right? These are all important things. Whatever they're telling you is what you're going to be writing down, because you guys should have a notebook at the door and you're taking notes the whole time. And then also you're able to jot down their contact info to follow up with them for appointments. So yeah, so here's how we'll do that. Like I said, go back each time and change the criteria based on what you want to do. Again, you have your options up here. So if I see this is an area with a little bit of focused, there's 3 there. You know, so however you guys want to do that. And you can go back and change it each time. Close this out. And then go through the process. So we search an area, we click on the photos, make sure that we pull out all the vacants. Then we go through and double check the addresses to make sure that they are not relisted. And then go through and put them in a driving order, print them, and get out there and start converting some expireds. It's a great part of your business, guys. All right, and I think that's about it. So I'm going to come back. Let me know if you guys have any last questions. And we're wrapped up and ready to go. All right, so Cindy, thank you so much for joining us. Wayne, Naomi. Again, this will be on the replay. So you guys can always go back to this. You can click on the links. Also, I believe Christine is helping us out. Thank you, Christine. And having these uploaded to the back office. I'm sorry, not the back office, the YouTube channel. I believe it's the FLR Online Campus, or you can also go to FLR Education DEPT, and you'll be able to go back and watch these at any time. Now, if there is any specific content that you guys are interested in having us post classes about, always let us know. You guys, we listen to you guys, and we apply that information readily and often. So if there's anything else you guys are interested in learning, let us know. We'll be setting up our November calendar here really soon, and would love some feedback from you guys to see what you want to learn about. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming. Have a great day and stay dry.